Hello, this is Robert Smith, and this is Joe.
How you doing?
From Australia.
Sydney, Australia.
And Joe had attended the seminar in
Melbourne last weekend.
Yeah. And what did you think about the seminar?
I thought it was great, fantastic, really insightful.
So what was it that made it so good, Joe?
Well, I don't want to give you a really big head, Robert, but I will. Robert's insights, Robert's ability to deliver valuable information, but really easy to hear with real words. And I think just being around Robert was a pleasure for me anyway, because I've been following Robert for about a year and a half, and I've tried some other EFT therapists, and obviously Robert's not EFT, he's FasterEFT, and I found that really appealing, and the changes are quicker and the whole thing just works really well for me. So, and I've been tapping on friends as well, and they've had some major shifts, so thank you, Robert.
All right, what about, if anything you don't feel comfortable with, just saying. So like, have you tried other therapies? What have you tried?
Oh, yes.
What makes a difference? I mean, like, you've done a lot of different stuff, and have you spent any money on it?
I've probably spent about, don't tell my mother, $40,000 or $50,000 on self-development, therapy, call it what you will. I started it in my early 20s. I'm now 40. I did original core pain work, core healing shame stuff, and I found that to be beneficial on an awareness level, but I think when it comes to actually taking the charge out of the memories of the past so I can create my future, it wasn't beneficial there. So I found what I'm looking for.
Yeah. So the difference is that you think EFT, the other stuff, the difference is taking the power out of it.
Taking the power out of it, definitely.
Yeah. And you tried therapies?
Group therapy, one-on-one counselling. Is there much more? I saw a psychiatrist for a little while. I did group work for about 9 or 10 years, which was okay on a social level, but to reduce or to release rather the charge from my painful traumas from childhood, it wasn't really beneficial there.
So, you know, I've never done any of that stuff. You know, I haven't had any experiences with that. So if I'm always trying to look at things. The positive part about group therapy is what?
The social connection, and I think, for example, a lot of group therapy is facilitated around the inner child's abandonment. So by recreating a group, on some level recreates the family dynamic, the family system. So the childhood feelings come up, but you're not actually abandoned because you're in some family, some contrived family, but that's what it was contrived, it wasn't real.
And also, I guess, just from my perspective here, so it was a family, but as a family of everybody's been abused.
Yes, of course.
So that would, my opinion, just thinking from this viewpoint, it helped keep the system going?
Absolutely. It fed it, it milked it, it perpetuated it.
Because see, you know, of course, I don't think it's good, my opinion, is to sit around and talk about the stories, go back and retell, and you hear different stories, different ways of being abused, or different ways that you've used even drugs or alcohol and the trauma. To me, I don't think that's good. I think if it happened once, it's over, make peace with it and move on. But I feel if you keep telling the story, you help keep it alive, you create friendships, and you sit around and talk about it all the time.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I've never done any of that, so I don't know exactly the system because I've never done it. But I do know this, it happened once, that's enough.
Yeah.
Make peace with it, change it, move on. So that definitely is the difference than EFT, then I would think is
FasterEFT.
Faster, not just plain EFT.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about going into the memory, changing how you represent the memory, changing your emotional charge with it, and also making peace with the characters that's inside the memory.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's where the real power is, really. You know, and I was in Hawaii, and there was a practitioner of the EFT, and one of the things she said, I just don't agree with you, Robert. I don't think you should change the memory. I said, why? Well, wouldn't you want to change the memory? Well, I want to keep them handy, or I want to keep them. I mean, I don't want to change them. I want to make something positive or shift a direction to make it positive, but you don't want to get rid of the memory. And I said, it is within holding that memory keeps you enslaved. Now, you know, I tell stories about, you know, the time that I was in the 5th grade, my father beat me with a hammer. But that's just a made-up story to me now. It's not even true at all. At one time it was true, and at one time I couldn't go back. And so the difference is making peace where it's not real. And really it isn't. Really right now, you and I are drinking a good cup of coffee. Yes.
Starbucks.
Yeah. And so, what else can we talk about, Joe? Therapy. And I've worked with you personally.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
We did phone sessions in late 2008, and we had a great session last week around, I really got how much I self-torture, mentally, emotionally, and it was just a daily part of my my daily walk. Yeah, so I feel relief that I have some freedom around that. There's more to do.
Yeah. Well, life is a continual growth, you know, continual changing. And if people like yourself or with myself, we've had a great gifts from our mothers and our fathers and the traumas and the abuses.
Oh, I have plenty of gifts. I'm telling you, they're fucking everywhere. Oops, they're everywhere.
But
I'm Santa Claus.
But the key is making peace with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Making peace with it. And then, and I believe that if you've been through a lot of stuff and you make peace with it, you heal it, your life will be so much more powerful. You'll create in your business, you'll create in your life, you'll create better, more powerful, loving relationships. You'll get more out of life than what you started out with.
I already am.
Yeah.
I already am.
That's good.
Yeah,
Really good.
I already am.
You know, I talked about how, you know, my system, I believe, is that you're producing perfectly. There is no blocked anything. Like the sprinkler is oozing out anger, depression, and sadness. It's doing that because your mind, the programs, the experiences are successfully producing this. And when we do the tapping, we're actually creating a disruption in the communication between the mind and the body, and we break this pattern inside of us, then all of a sudden we're not producing the anger, we're not producing the judgment, we're not producing the hurt. And then also we're creating a new way of internally processing our world. And so, you know, most of the time when people have issues, they don't realize that they are the issue maker. They're not the one they don't realize it, and then they start blaming or looking at their past. It's my mother's fault, it's my childhood.
But most people do that. They blame everyone else for their pain.
Right.
You know, because they can't own it. And that's one thing that you talk a lot about owning one's pain, well, one's stuff.
Yeah, you're the one producing it.
Yeah,
and how you're doing it.
Yeah.
So the deal is learning how we are doing it. What is it that we're doing to make it happen?
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest and most powerful part, is to make it. I guess it's probably good on being there anyway. So anyway.
Oh, were you out of it, mate?
Yeah.
We kind of moved down.
Yeah, that's all right.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so the deal is learn how we do it and what we're doing, and that's why I put all the videos on YouTube, to help people really create the life changes.
And it's helped me a lot.
And you're helping people.
I am helping people. It's great.
And you also want to create an EFT group. What kind of EFT group?
Well, I want to focus with actors. So my EFT group is called Freedom EFT, to help actors with their audition process, their audition techniques, their vocal abilities, just everything that holds an actor back.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, because I'm an actor as well, so
very
I
good.
believe I have a lot to give.
Rob.
So here we are in Hyde Park with my good buddy Robert Smith. Say good day to Robert. How you doing, mate? Hyde Park is a milestone, the centre of Sydney. We have Oxford Street up here on our left. We have the Opera House and Harbour Bridge down here.
See you later, whatever it is.
See you later, fellas. Come to Australia.
Ciao.